All right. We're rolling.
Hey, everybody.
It's Thursday. Yeah. It's cold and rainy.
It is.
I feel like last time we recorded it was cold and rainy.
Miserable.
Stop it.
I'm waiting for spring.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for spring once October comes around. I'm looking forward to spring.
I don't like winter, especially when it's not really winter. It's kind of a late fall kind of.
Just cold and wet.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo us, huh?
Yeah, that's right. There's people out there that don't even have a house, so there you go.
Slate us up here. What do we got?
All right, so here we are. This is Season 1, Episode 3, the Black Dog Podcast, the Washington, D.C. house.
Yeah.
Get a better one there.
Let's just get right into the episode.
All right. Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah, I need it, man. I was tapped.
When we were doing marching bands, one of the seniors when I was a sophomore, her name was Megan, and she had this giant personality. And anytime the practice was lacking energy, she would the band director would turn to Megan, and Megan would yell, "Energy!" And it was kind of like Mom in the morning, you know, like when you're not ready to wake up, she's like, "Good morning." And you're like, "Oh, God."
Yeah, you were easy in the morning to wake up. You took it easy.
I don't mind the mornings, yeah.
Gracie had a hard time with it. So
some people do. The older I get, the more I'm like, man, I'd love to sleep.
I just want to sleep in. That's all. That's retirement for me. Just sleep in.
It's the best feeling ever. Yeah. Just wake up naturally with your body.
Yeah, wake up
in the sun.
Do some functions and then go back to bed. Yeah. Me and the dogs like to do that.
Wake up, function, sleep.
Yeah, do some functions. Well, I won't expound on that.
Well, yeah, you got that nice bidet. I think that's where you were going. Your morning BM.
That's always.
You know, speaking of BMs, you had
oh my goodness,
a BM of sorts in this episode.
Bad move.
A bowel movement, but not quite. You farted. I'm sorry to introduce it so heavily.
Well, you know, I'm hard of smelling, so I guess it was memorable for you, probably.
Do you remember that? Did you?
No, I don't really, but
it was real quick. But you can hear it, and Ted laughs at it.
Was it a zipper?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It happens, you know.
Well, today we are talking about Salvage Dogs Season 1, Episode 11.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the season on this one.
We've almost done it.
Yeah.
The title of this episode was called The Post-War Colonial Revival Home. One of the longest titles we've had.
You know, and I think what happened is we would put some stuff in there just to say what it was, and they used it. You know, sometimes it was just like this was the inside notes for the episode for us.
Yeah,
and that's how we identified it. And then for some reason they just used it. You know.
Yeah, some of them seem like they messaged Robert and was like, because there's some really specific architectural titles. You know, it's almost like they asked him like, "What was this?"
Yeah,
and then he gave them like an overly specific answer. And he said, "Great, put it in."
Well, when did this air?
The original air date of Season 1, Episode 11 was July 6th, 2013. So put yourself back July 6th, 2013. I was still limping through community college.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. A decade ago.
Yeah. You know, time does fly. But, you know, this was an interesting job. Well, do you want to get into it now or do you want to go through comments first?
Let's say we got 2 comments.
2 comments. That's great.
Well, we got a bunch, but most of the comments are usually like, sounds great. Yeah. Love it. Okay. Thanks, which not lost on me.
No.
But I'd spend, 20 minutes. It's a good problem to have.
Right.
But 2 of the more notable comments, we got one of them was from a guy named Curtis Zeidelhack, which he's actually been a follower of my YouTube channel for a long time.
Okay.
He said, more. We want more.
More shows?
More podcasts, yeah.
No, podcasts we can do. Shows we can't.
So last week, remember we were talking about Pearl Harbor. I think you were making a correction about
I
date.
I did. I hit the wrong date.
But Curtis said, for me, a date to remember is December 21st, 1941, which was the day my dad went into the U.S. Marine Corps.
Wow.
Within a few weeks, he was aboard the USS West Virginia helping to clear the ship of debris and bodies. So it could be raised from the mud at the bottom of Pearl Harbor in May of 1942.
Oh my God! So he raised the West Virginia.
When he joined,
that
were
was
cleanup
their job.
crew.
Wow.
For Pearl Harbor.
I can only imagine the mess there.
That's the morale in general.
Well, yeah. Well, thank your Curtis. Thank your dad,
Mr. Zeidelhack.
Zeidelhack is hopefully still with us, but if he's not, God rest his soul. He's yeoman's duty. That was. I'm sure there's obviously a bunch of documentaries about the thing, but
there is actually a really fantastic documentary about Pearl Harbor on Netflix, and I watched it not long ago, and it's just brutal.
It is. It's those Japanese guys they weren't nice people.
Well, the interesting thing too is that a lot of it could have maybe been countered if there wasn't. I think the general of the Navy in that area was like playing golf or something at the time. Like the timing was just.
Well, you can go back to it. It was on a Sunday, obviously. I think Easter Sunday was it?
Yeah.
And well, it couldn't have been Easter Sunday. It was Sunday.
December.
December, and I'm getting my dates all screwed up here. I don't know where I am anymore, but they knew this was
December
coming.
7th, 1941.
They knew this was coming. They did.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay attention to the signs.
They ignored some signs.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were caught with our pants down. And
some literally, I'm sure.
We came back with a vengeance, so.
Winners.
The rest is energy. Yeah, it was brutal. That war was terrible.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And that type of, I hope we never see a war like that again. But you hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Curtis, thank you for the comment.
Yeah, totally. I just realized. Let me make sure this microphone is on.
I can hear it.
Oh, it is on. Great.
All right.
Paranoia.
Was there one more?
One more comment from a user by the name of LJP.
Okay.
The banter, the family friendship, cheerfulness, well, maybe not Robert, and amusing stories makes me remember why Salvage Dogs was my all-time favorite reality show. So glad to hear your behind-the-scenes reminiscing. You guys are great. Keep it up.
All right. Well, there you go. We appreciate your enthusiasm. We're not getting a lot of response, but it doesn't matter. We're just having fun doing it. It's just something Tay and I can do every Thursday.
Yeah, it's easy, low impact, and
it comes
pretty
back.
fun.
It comes around every week.
While we're on the topic of YouTube and comments, one thing you could do right now that's free that would really help us here would be go find Black Dog Salvage on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to that, and then selfishly go find Lift Arc Studios on YouTube and subscribe to that. Both of those actions are free, and both of those actions really let us know that you're watching, you're out there, and it goes a long way. The more subscribers you have, the more attention your videos get, and your video gets more attention. We can start to monetize. It's all that, and it's free for you to do.
There's a lot of podding out there these days, so it's we had a really good body of work, which was Salvage Dogs, 11 seasons. And we're proud of it. So we just want to reminisce a little bit, and it's kind of fun going back and watching the episodes again, and because we have the condensed version without the commercials, and it's fun. I enjoy it, and I've forgotten a lot of the stuff until I watch it and see. I'm like me getting ready to fall off this thing. So,
dude, we'll talk about that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, besides that,
funny now, maybe
the
not then.
Flatulations. It was a memorable.
This episode had everything.
Yeah,
farts, falls, funny.
There you go. The 3 Fs. That's cool.
But we start with another opener where 19-year-old me had still a bad attitude. Mm-hmm. We do a wow. The show opens with a wow.
Yep.
Truck, Ted and Robert.
Ted and me.
You and Ted come in the Isuzu with some things, and Ted yells out the window. I'm standing by the shipping, and he goes, "Hey, Ted, go get Robert.
Yeah,
he got something he's going to want to see."
Right.
And of course, I go, "Is he really going to want to see it?"
Well, that wasn't that.
And
bad.
here I am, 23. I'm like, "Come on, man, be happier."
No. You're a typical 19-year-old.
And I guess I was just trying to find something to say, too.
Well,
a lot of pressure to perform on camera.
Yeah, we were still trying to feel our way through this whole, reality series thing. And, and all you had to do was be you. And you did.
And at that time, I really didn't know who that was.
So if you were snarky, that's who 19-year-old Tay was.
Sure.
Snarky, back talker, know it all. So,
Yeah.
that's
Nailed it.
Most 19-year-olds do know that. They know it all.
That's a good point.
That's why they should be running the country.
Good point. Wait, 25 at least.
Whoever, yeah, well, whatever.
Till your brain's fully developed.
What is the minimum? How old can you be to be president?
How young? Or how old do you have to be?
How old do you have to? I think it's maybe 35 or something.
How old do you have to be president? Let's see what Google says.
President of what?
According to Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the president must be a natural-born citizen of the United States and be at least 35 years old. Okay. And have been a resident of the U.S. for 14 years.
14 years.
Man.
There you go.
I didn't realize that was in the Constitution. That's funny.
Yeah, it should be, a naturalized citizen.
Have been born here.
Born here, but been a citizen for 14
And I guess natural born means no C-section.
No.
What is natural born?
It didn't say vaginal born. No, that's not it at all.
Oh.
No. Anyway,
good, okay.
I don't know why I got off on that. The 14-year-old you or 19-year-old you. But the wow, as we called it.
Yeah, the phone booth and the Coke cooler. I remember if those two things trigger individual memories, but being that you drove the truck, how did these two things get in the truck?
Well, again, this was one of the parts of the program that we had to load up.
It was fatality.
Yeah. So I went up to REZ, which is an electrical supply company, and he had a English phone booth. Always did, sitting out there.
It's still there now.
It is still there now.
And I made a note of that. I wanted to ask you if it was the same one that's there.
It is.
But I guess we restored it.
We cleaned it up, painted it, restored it as much as we could, and then took it back to him because he wouldn't sell it to me.
And we needed something to do on the show. And,
yeah.
of course, we didn't restore it in this episode. We restored it in a later episode.
Did we?
Yeah, it sat at Black Dog for a while. Just
it was a great. I mean, I still like to have it.
If you haven't seen it, it's probably what 1940s, 1950s.
We didn't get a date on. We kind of pushed
50s.
it in the 50s. English phone booth, wooden doors and red, and it was iconic. I think they're all gone now because
in England,
just because of the terrorist threat of bombing those things or putting bombs in those.
How wonderful!
Yeah.
Yikes!
I think that's what it is. I mean, and of course, there's no phones anymore. So there you go. I mean,
well, right. It's all cell phone anyway.
I don't know if I've seen a public phone anywhere in the last. I don't know. I mean, the last 5 years.
There's one. I don't know if it's working, but it's still there. It's in a gas station in Vinton, Virginia, on the way to my house.
Right.
On. It doesn't matter. I can't remember the street, that main road.
Yeah.
And it's right by the headstone shop.
Oh, yeah. That's where it should be,
But it looks like the handset's still there and everything. It might still, I don't know. Maybe I'll go test it.
You have to have a 2-wire, the 2 wires. I don't even know if they have an analog system anymore.
Yeah, right. The infrastructure might be being taken down.
We always called it a twisted pair.
Right.
It came in with low voltage, and that's how everything. That's how we got internet.
Dial-up internet.
Yeah, that's how we got it. So
I don't understand. I mean, I'm big into technology, but just the concept of being able to display web images through 2 wires is wild to me.
It is. And you had a modem, that had that. A lot of times you'd put your receiver down on it and hear those tones. That love that sound. AOL. AOL was my first online.
You've got mail.
That's right. Hey, that's the voice.
That was pretty close.
It was. It was perfect. But anyway, that's how we got those pieces, and it had to bring in something. The Coke cooler, I can't remember where I got that.
Well. We had an identical Coke cooler as soon as you walk in Black Dog on the right that forever just had free to grab beer and sodas.
And the kids in the neighborhood would come in and grab
a lot
sodas, and when we had our parties, they'd end up with a beer in their hand. We had to police them pretty hard,
Yeah, we used to have those open house parties at Black Dog, and we just have
Sally's birthday, Molly's birthday.
Molly's birthday.
Yeah,
we just have bathtubs full of ice and beer.
It was awesome.
It was great,
and then it got to be too many people and too much liability. And just like everything else, you got to shut it down. So anyway, that was it. I think we sold it for what it was intended to be, which was the cooler. I wanted to cut it up. I really did.
Well, later on, much later on, we made an island out of a Coke cooler. That Coke cooler?
I don't know. I can't remember that.
I got to find pictures and compare to the frames.
So, I mean, so they, obviously we as we say, we refinished it and set it back. I mean, it was beautiful when we put it back in its place.
Yeah.
Those doggone things are heavy.
Coke cooler?
No. Well, the Coke coolers are heavy, but that.
The phone booth.
The phone booth.
Well, it's cast, isn't it?
Extremely heavy, yeah. And we had another one. It's in an episode, I don't know where we went and craned it out of somebody's house.
I remember that. That was over by the Hidden Valley Country Club.
Yeah. So we've had two
we
of them.
dug a hole in the street trying to back the crane into their driveway.
You gotta pull a little
I don't know
asphalt.
why I remember that part.
Yeah, every once. Well, I remember it too because we dug a hole on public property.
Yeah, in the country club.
What do you do?
Shh.
Yeah. So that was a wow.
What a wow! And two big ticket items for sure. I mean. I guess, now they know the reality of the phone booth. We never actually owned it. But
it's still here. We can tell you where it is.
You can go buy overpriced electronic equipment at REZ here in Roanoke, and you can see it.
They're not overpriced. It's not electronic equipment either. It's electrical
supply. I tried to buy it. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to drag them through the coals.
Nope. They're great people.
Sure. REZ.
Yep.
America's electrical supply. Well, we moved from that to... Well, really, the roundtable, we start talking about the salvage.
Right.
Which is going to be, this, they didn't say what year it was, but this post-war colonial revival house in Washington, D.C., 2,700 square foot, 3-story brick house, built and owned by photographers.
Yeah, and it's really cool. We didn't realize that was the case when we went in there, and we really didn't have a whole lot of options on the inside because this was a deal that we did with Second Chance. And I don't know if we've mentioned Second Chance before, but
briefly in the episode, but give them a shout. Yeah,
they're a nonprofit that takes folks that are ex-cons and homeless, gets them off the street, teaches them a trade, which is a deconstruction trade, and sends them out and they do a couple of hundred salvage jobs a year. Wow. They got like 10 teams that are running around the East Coast. They're getting a little farther afield, but it's a nonprofit again. So you basically pay them to come in and take the salvage, but you get a pretty big tax break. And it only makes sense if the salvage is substantial.
Sure.
And these guys take everything. They take it down to the ground mostly, from all the studs, the bricks, the flooring, everything comes down.
Wow.
I mean, they're a demolition company basically, but it's all salvage. They've got a place in Baltimore that is over 300,000 square feet.
Holy cow.
And it's crammed to the ceiling. It's just amazing how much stuff they got.
Did we go there together?
We have. I think we've been there before.
I know we saw the Columbus guys, Chris.
Oh yeah, that's
there.
But not
in the place in Richmond.
We never went there with salvage dogs.
Yeah,
we went there as curiosity seekers, and hey, what do you got? And they got it. Let me tell you.
Well, if you're in the Baltimore area, go check them out.
Yeah, check them out. Mark Foster, great guy. He's one of the founders. And last time I saw him, I was up there probably 6 months ago, and he still had his COVID do on, and it was down past his shoulders, meaning
just let his hair grow out.
I talked to somebody up there the other day, and they said, yeah, he's looking a lot more like Jesus every day. And with the long hair and the beard, he's a great guy. It's just incredible. So I guess he's going to try to get his who's the guy, not Yanni, who's the Harlequin romance guy? He's always on those paperbacks holding the girl.
Oh my God!
Is it? It's not Yanni, but
I don't know.
Anyway, so whoever's out there, he can remember. He can figure it out. No, you don't have to Google it.
I don't even know what I'd Google.
Yeah.
Harlequin romance guy.
Yeah, model. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's real.
The Fonz?
No.
I tried.
Yeah, it was a good try, but not. But anyway, that's what he's looking like these days. But that's how we got this job, and they would send us leads on things and we would also send them leads, and we've done it quite a few times since we met them, where we can't afford to go in and do it, but you guys have the ability, and maybe we can we'll do trading. You know, we'll get you this job and we'll come in and pick at your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good situation.
Well, horse trading as it's called in the salvage industry is great.
Yeah, you got this, I got that. Let's try and get something. Let's make it good for both of us.
Yeah.
Just did one of those down in Jacksonville a couple months ago. But anyway, that's how we start. That's how we got the lead on this, and we basically only got the outside, what did Robert call it? Conservatory?
Well, that's the big ticket item here. Right. So out back behind this big brick house in D.C. is an aluminum conservatory, which, as Robert put it, is essentially the British term for sunroom.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. It's and it was prefabricated but designed for that particular location, so they were custom made.
Yeah, probably 30 by 30, something like that.
It was huge.
Yeah, like 15-foot tall ceilings.
It was, it had an OG top on it with kind of a ridged, not a widow's walk, but a crest element. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't know what we were doing. First off, that was the main thing. We've never done one of these. I'd done one a long time ago, and I swear I would never. And it was a sunroom, much simpler. And I will never do it. I told myself I'd never do another one.
Well, so how did you persuade yourself to do? Well, I guess we needed an episode.
We needed an episode, and
struggle looks good on television.
And yeah, well, it definitely it's definitely kicked our butt, because again, deconstruction helps if you know construction, and we didn't have any clue. And anybody that did this for a living could have come in there and it was methodical about how it comes down. We took it down in chunks.
There's a lot of parts.
Yeah.
And that was Robert's through line this whole time, was like his guys, because Robert did and still does operate a contracting company.
Right.
His guys knew what they were and told him that it's an easy 5-day job to take it apart. And then the plot line in this episode was that we had 2.
Right. We only ever had 2.
Sure.
Yeah,
how long is that going to take? How long do we have? 2
days. Well, and that had to do with the production company. They allotted X amount of time for the people they hired.
Yeah.
To grab an episode in the field.
Well, and after 2 days, the camera got bored.
Well, it's not that it got bored. It just they had more than. I mean, remember, this was only a 22-minute show. But we had to do a job, and we had to finish a job. So. This took 3 days, and it
ended up taking 3 days.
We hammered. I mean, there was some pretty, going up and figuring out how to drop that stuff and not kill yourself. That was
there was some drama. There was definitely some drama.
Robert was getting sideways on this thing. It really was. It was really kicking his butt. Emotionally.
Well, yeah, right. I think it was the end of the second day or maybe even the third day, Robert started to fall apart. He's getting pissed. A ladder fell out from under you. Robert got hit in the face like 3 times just from silly things popping up.
Well, he was going at it, and screws were popping out and hitting him in the noggin.
Every bolt was stripped on the lower thing.
So,
but that was sort of how it ended. But it started made swift progress day 1 and
it
2.
It looked like it, because it was coming down. But day 2, we got the roof off.
Yes, and the 2 gable ends came in and down.
Right.
And then day 3, I had to leave, so Grayson and I both left.
Yeah, Grayson had something to do. You had
I was still in college.
Yeah, you still had school. And
so you, Ted, and Robert had to finish up.
Yeah, back to the old men.
Yeah.
At the time. And so, we stayed at it. We didn't let it whip us.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had to. You walk away, you put that much time into something, and then walk away from it incomplete. You might as well just put it on red in Vegas, and you got a 50-50 of winning that.
Well, you abandon any hope of breaking even, right? If you just leave it all there.
Oh yeah, and we weren't going to do that because and one thing that the production company wanted to see, they wanted to see something finished. That was it. That was the deal. It's you start it, you always find a finishing point where hey, we got what we came for. I mean, we always left stuff on the ground. We always left stuff. We just couldn't get it all in 2 days. So this took 3. So, you know, we whittled down our crew. They whittled down their crew to 1 camera, one audio, and a producer, and everybody else went home. So, but we had to finish. And there were some other parts of this thing that I had a hard time. I didn't have a hard time remembering, but I forgot. Is the dark room. Just these guys were photographers.
Right. Yeah. You and Ted, this was actually kind of a funny little bit of the episode. You and Ted found a dark room in the attic.
Yep.
And it had a shallow metal L-shaped sink.
Stainless steel trays.
For, I guess, soaking the...
Yeah, they put the chemicals in, and then they immersed the paper that had been exposed to the negative, and, you know, the whole process of developing a film.
Didn't you do some of that in high school or something?
I mean, everybody, we had dark rooms in high school.
Yeah.
And
we sure didn't
graphic,
by the time I was in high school.
No, you guys were digital at that point. And it was interesting. So we wanted to get the bling, so to speak, and
well, the stainless,
we went after it. I mean, and we ground it out and grunted it out, and finally it hit the ground, and so we had to spend time doing that and not on the conservatory.
Yeah, there were a few distractions. I mean, that's the other point, was we technically had 2 days to remove the conservatory, but there was still the dark room.
Right.
There was a bar in the basement and doors. Well, I think that was it.
Yeah.
But still, 2 big sort of distractions, multi-hour distractions.
So that took Ted and I probably an hour and a half, 2 hours to get that stuff out. And then about the same on the bar downstairs. Well, had all that bottle glass windows and stuff in it.
Well, on the dark room, before we finish that, I wrote loud, violent removal. Just that segment of you got shaking and banging and crying.
It's not releasing, you know, and just... Why is it not releasing?
I guess it was glued to the wood, and so you had to cut the counter off.
We just had to come in there with a cut-off wheel, and it started bouncing off my forehead because I didn't have a full face shield on, and
you could see it actually. The embers hitting your mustache and singeing.
Not smart people, not smart at all.
Hey, at least you had glasses on.
Well, that's because I have to wear glasses. You know, that's the reason I had my glasses on.
But that segment ends. You get it on the ground, and you say, "All right, let's get it to the truck," and you rip the loudest fart.
Oh, is that where?
It was in the tiny little compact room with Ted, and then of course a camera guy and producer. It's probably 4 people in this tiny room. They go, all right, let's get it out.
Oh, could you hear it?
Yes.
Oh Lord, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I should pull it up.
No, you don't have to do that.
No, I can't. I can play it through the board.
Oh no, really?
Lucky for you.
Well, great. You're right. Yeah, I'm assuming that it was one of the smelly one.
Well, we'll have to ask Ted
because it was. I was laying on the ground grinding, so, natural for it to come out.
I just love that they kept it in. That's the funny part.
I didn't hear it.
I'm going to find it while we talk about other stuff. But.
Okay. But anyway, we got that out.
Here it is. We can have it rewelded.
Damn, that was easy.
I scrolled to the middle of the episode, and here it is.
I hope Robert doesn't see this.
So we just cut it, and if somebody really wants to put it back in its same configuration, we can have it rewelded.
Damn, that was easy.
Time to get out of here. Bust a move.
Oh, no.
No more darkroom work these days. There's still people out there.
Oh.
I guess you didn't make it that far in the episode.
No kidding. That's pretty good.
It wasn't the loudest fart in the world, but it was pretty funny.
Oh, it was timely.
It was a two-banger.
Yeah. Yeah, a double. Oh, that's funny.
Time to get out of here.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let you get off.
Hey,
Ted
has a good sniffer, too, so it probably was quite offensive to him.
Well, let's be honest. He's seen and heard and smelled you fart a lot.
Yeah, well, we've been around.
Well, we all have. Me too. I try to get you back, but you can't smell anything, so it's not fair.
It's beautiful. If you're going to lose a scent, smelling is the one.
That's the one to lose.
Yeah, it's there's good stuff, but there's more stinky stuff in the world probably than good smelling stuff. So
life doesn't smell good. People are stinky.
Normally,
people are leaky and stinky
by default.
Well, then okay.
So we got that done. The fart and all.
Nice bookend.
Yeah, it was a nice way to
transition.
To put an exclamation point on that part of the episode.
I'm so glad I found that.
I am too. That was funny. I'd forgotten about it too. So it's not often that you get to fart on a national television show.
That's a credit many don't have.
It should have been in the role. Fart provided by
sound effects provided by Mike's butt.
Mike's asshole. Lower GI unit. And then so Ted and I also just right after that got the bar, which is a nice little mahogany crescent bar with a red bolster on it. And
it almost looked like a poker table, but
and it was a cool space. And evidently this guy was a yachtsman as well, a sailboater. And I remember in the house somewhere, I can't remember what it was. I think it was in the basement. There was a kind of a bulletin board pin up, and I still have this picture of a sailboat under sail in black and white. And I still have it. I should have brought it because that was one of the things I just said. This is some guy's life here that used to sail, which is one of my passions, and also he photographed it. Underway, and I would love to have seen some of his other work, and maybe someday if we could ever figure out who this guy was,
sure,
we could do it. But anyway, it was cool. We got all that stuff out, and the only reason we got to take that out is because we didn't breach the perimeter of the building. We were able to lock it up.
Well, you had to remove the entryway
to that space. But there was a door behind it.
Oh, but it was isolated, so it was kind of like a grottos or something.
Right. So, it's like a garage or something. So we were able to take it without compromising because, this was near Silver Springs, Chevy Chase, D.C. area, and quite ritzy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful house, and just the fact was it was getting torn down to replace it with a bigger, nicer, newer house. Maybe not nicer, but probably.
This thing was built like a brick house. It built like a brick house. It actually was a brick. concrete footers and walls. I mean, it was amazing. It was a shame, but that happens a lot. We have to take stuff down because there's
it's coming down.
There's a better purpose. Yeah. And we
that kind of money is crazy.
It's DC, baby.
There it is.
You gotta if you live there, you got to be able to afford those kind of houses. To tear down probably a $2 million house to put in probably a $6 million house.
Upgrade.
Yeah, I don't have those problems.
No.
So back to the salvage, we kind of came back to that point, and guys.
What was the door to that bar room was made of bottle glass.
That's what I call it. There's probably Gracie could probably tell us what that is, but it looks like the end of a bottle.
Bottom of the bottle.
Yeah, bottom of the bottle, and I'm sure that's how it was blown. And I don't know the make of it.
We've seen it a few times, and of course, I only know about it because of Black Dog. But
I've seen it in with leaded glass where this was all formed, in panes. So
it's probably a forming roller that it.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Again, that's production glass, and it comes out in a sheet, and then probably there's a die or a mold that is blown onto. I don't know, and that'd be interesting. Another podcast to kind of dive into how that glass is made, because Gracie could help us with that. I mean, I was doing a salvage job today, or a pick, and that's why I'm all dirty.
Still salvaging, folks.
Still salvaging. But it was a pick, and it was a guy who was kind of a hoarder, collector.
Wow.
Guy.
Local?
Yeah. It was a long story, but he the first job we ever did, we bought the rights to $7,000 for the rights to this house, 21 Highland Avenue. And one morning we were coming in Robert and I were just starting out. And, I mean, we weren't even in business, really. This is the first house that started Black Dog. And this guy was out there in the morning taking, these wrought iron gates out of the property.
No kidding.
And we had the rights. And I said, hey, dude, we got the rights here, and you're stealing my stuff. He said, well, no, the guy told me I could take it. I said, no, we got it. I won't mention his name, but that's how we started that job with him. And this kind of comes full circle. This guy was a hoarder. Honest to goodness.
Well, it makes sense. He was stealing gates. That's how you become a
Yeah, I
hoarder.
wish I didn't find. Well, we got him out of the back of his truck. I thanked him for taking them off for me. But he passed away a couple of years ago, and his widow called me up and said, "Hey, you want some of this stuff?"
Help.
I said, "There's no way I can do this. It is too much, and you want too much for this.
Yeah.
So, good luck." And so somebody bought the building and called us up and said, "Hey, you interested in any of this stuff?" So that's what we did. Matter of fact, it was Ben Comer.
Oh, yeah.
Who did the
Shout out Comer Construction.
concrete we're sitting on. And we worked a deal out, and the guys, we brought all the Black Dog crew in today, and we hit it. And then got some good stuff, but...
So you got them back.
Well, not
I mean, you kept your railings anyway. But.
Yeah, but it was... but that's the guy's... That was his legacy. His name was Steve Kokenauer.
Why have I heard that name?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've heard it.
Anyways, he's been around here a long time, but he had a hoarding problem. And he had a vacuum cleaner collection problem. I mean,
that is a problem.
this guy has a weird collection. Anyway, that's where I was today.
You know what most people say about a vacuum collection problem?
No.
It sucks.
Yeah, there you go. Your Comedy Central for today. Is it time already?
No, I was just playing
To
something.
finish it up. So anyway, that's
On the other, wait, hold on. On the other one, I have.
Oh, okay. You got to put my fart on there.
I should rip that.
Yeah.
And put. Yeah, I have 5 other pads. We got to load them in.
Let's load up the fart.
We'll be like a bad early 2000s radio show where all the boing, all this weird sounds.
That's what you need.
Black Dog Salvage podcast. Cast. Sorry. Back.
Was it Mark Bowe that liked your radio voice?
Velvety voice, yeah.
Oh, it is smooth.
Listen how deep and sultry it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Miracle Whip.
People
it
make
belongs on
livings
everything.
on voiceover.
I'd love to do voiceover work.
Yeah.
It'd be low impact.
Anybody out there that's looking for some smooth voicing?
Smooth jazz.
Yeah.
105.4. The cream
of the crop. What else we got? Oh, the build.
Yeah, well,
So
anyway, to
let's
finish that,
finish construction.
you guys did some picks. We stayed on the conservatory. Grayson and I left. It's day 3. Robert's pissed. Bolts are stripped. You almost fell off a ladder. You were holding on to a gable end. The ladder came out from under you, and you were just dangling.
I was on an A-frame ladder, but I wasn't using it properly.
Yeah.
And
I think it was folded up or something.
And luckily, I didn't go over the side.
No kidding.
Wasn't that a suck? Just ladder and gable in, everything going over the side.
Yeah, for you, it was sucked real bad.
Well, yeah.
And
that's
us.
kind of where I was, with that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fun. So I didn't do it. It provided great entertainment. Again, kind of, if you watch Robert's reaction.
That whole sequence was hilarious.
Yeah, he was like, what can go wrong now? Here I go over the side of this thing. And this was built up on an elevated, like a basement or something.
I wonder if I'll get lucky with a second scroll.
Probably not.
Oh, I can see. I should line these up.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, almost. I can see previews. Here it is, day 3. Robert's having a hard time.
He really got under his skin. I mean, it bothered him a lot.
Yeah.
And I felt for him, but, you just got to let it be
Here's that
sometimes,
segment right here. One second, folks. Your speakers are working just fine. I'm just slowing things down here. Come on, internet.
Holding up progress.
We finally got down to the walls, and I was going to be able to take them out in sections. The sun is burning in on us.
I was going to be able to take them out in sections.
Every damn bolt will not come apart. They're all stripped, and I'm pissed off. I am hating this conservatory. Hating it.
Painful.
It's misery.
Yeah,
It really was.
Stuff just falling over.
So many opportunities for it to not go your way. And right when you think you got it licked,
Here's you.
it kicks you in the butt. Get off that other end.
Robert's
I was
face.
going
That was
like-
the problem with that structure. There's just too many butt-kicking opportunities.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you get that?
Oh,
He
Robert,
took every
poor
opportunity to
guy.
kick our ass.
It was
It's so
painful.
good.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
wasn't a
y'all,
lot
if you
of fun.
haven't seen this episode that we're talking about, get you Amazon Prime video membership. Get the Discovery Plus channel and go check it out.
Yeah. And
It's pretty funny.
they're doing
I hope we
something.
don't get like demonetized for that. I don't know. I've never done that before.
I don't know. I don't know what we did.
If you guys don't tell the overlords, we won't tell.
Overlords or what?
Whatever we're doing right now.
Oh,
the
okay.
the interwebs. The internet guys.
I don't think anybody's paying a whole lot of attention to you and me, buddy.
Well, again, we did wait until 30 minutes in, you know. As far as YouTube's concerned, if nothing weird happens in the first like 5 minutes, you're good.
Yeah, well, that's what happened on the show. You know, if it looked like a mundane, they were kind of like, "What's nothing happening?" I said, "Just keep your camera going. It'll happen." You know, we don't have to try. Just watch.
Well,
Yeah,
and that
that was perfect.
pissed was about as vulgar as we were allowed to get. Ass, hell, damn, we could say.
Yeah.
And I guess pissed.
Well, piss wasn't a cuss word.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I mean, but Robert let some superlatives. We call it the Navy comma.
Oh, yeah, off camera. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff going on.
Not even off camera. It was on camera. You just couldn't use it.
Yeah.
You know? But that was an interesting. And matter of fact, that conservatory was sold to a guy in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah, I remember that it did sold.
Yeah,
sold
that area. I think Ted did a delivery, and his job was just to get it to that location. They unloaded it and put it back up. I haven't seen a picture of it. Maybe I can go back and find out who bought it and send us a picture. But it did sell,
And it went back together.
You know, the first one we took apart did not sell. We ended up scrapping that one, but that was a long time ago. That was back in 2000 when we did it.
Yeah.
And me and Borzo did it.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
No, you weren't there.
I was
You-
around,
yeah.
I guess, but I don't
You
remember
weren't
it.
doing it at that point. But that was it. That was the show. That was the episode.
Well, we did do a build, and
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
was one of I think the coolest builds maybe of season one, the piano bar.
And that was from the Homestead stable.
That piano that you were banging on
Right.
the forks of the forklift coming out of the Homestead. It was an upright piano.
Right.
And
A stone, I think it was.
It was
a
a
story. We can look at the thing.
I wrote it down. Singer.
It wasn't
Yeah, it was Singer.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Anyway, you can take my word for it.
I will.
But it was, working, but old and out of tune and needed some love. But how'd you come up with the idea for a...
Well, you know, it's
Piano
it's a
bar.
cabinet, and you know, it's got a shell, and
Nice wood,
it's
too.
got all the working parts in it. So I saw, you know, the upper void, and you know how to figure that out, and I took the breastboard, I guess you call it, and we took it off, took the panels out and replaced them with glass so you can see through it. Removed the keyboard.
Way cool, by the way.
Moved the soundboard, took a piece of the soundboard or the harp, I guess, off. So we put that on the front where the keys were, and then used we put in a wine rack, and then what else did we do?
Lights.
You know, the lights that were inside were pretty cool. But
Did you actually make the pedals turn the lights on and
Yeah.
off? Cool.
Yeah,
you said you were going to do that. I didn't know if you did that or
we
not.
did that. I mean, she turned it on by hand, but we put a switch down there. But what was really cool is I put counterweights inside, so that when you lifted up the back, the window, which was the breastboard, it came up like a guillotine.
And it would stay up.
It'd stay up, and then you just push it down.
Nice.
So you tune it, and that took a while to figure out for us because I'm a cowboy physicist, but I'm not a great carpenter, and so we had to figure that whole thing out, and that turned out well. It took a long time to do that job.
Yeah.
I mean, in the show, it looked like we did it in 10 minutes. It probably took 6 months.
That long?
To do that, because they put the placeholder in it and then filmed it later. I didn't look when I was looking at the series or looking at the show. I didn't see it was Lonnie and I.
Yeah, I stepped in for a minute, but it was mainly you two.
Yeah, you did some other piano stuff with us later on, but that was it took 6 months to do it. So we had 6 months. So we put this one on the end of the season. We started it. If you think about it.
Probably started it
Yeah.
when we first started filming.
Right. Yeah, because that's when we did the homestead.
Right. The
So we
homestead
started it
was-
right after that. So they filmed it in front end, and then they filmed the back end, but it took a good 6 months to do it. And we weren't working on it for 6 months. We just had a lot of other stuff to do.
Well, yeah, when in the full swing of filming a season, we would start the bunch of jobs in a row,
Right, we
and
did.
then we'd have to come back and finish them.
Right, and we tried to, they tried to get us to wear the same hats and that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's if you look real close on these shows, you'll see, the things that don't make sense. Like we'll start out hot, and then we'll finish when we're cold.
Right.
Those kind of things. So it's
And you could see other projects in the background if you look close.
The reality is we did it, but it wasn't done chronologically. In our
Easy for you to say.
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
But that really was one of the coolest builds, and I'm obviously it's sold. I don't remember how quick, but
And it didn't sell very quick, but it was a real cool piece. And,
Yeah.
and the right person, I mean, we sell everything eventually. There's somebody out there for everything.
even if it's in the foreclosure auction, we sell. it.
Well, make sure you stay tuned because there will be an auction someday, and it could be sooner than later.
Grab your piece.
That's right. Get your Black Dog now. It'll be a 5-day auction because we got too much stuff.
Robert had guessed that the conservatory would sell for $12,000. I hope it did.
It was close to that, maybe
Yeah.
10-ish plus delivery, or we said 12 and
Plus
delivery.
shipping and handling.
Yeah,
Lots of handling.
It's hard to do that. That's one of the Achilles heel of this business. Heels of this business is, but now we've got people like they call themselves hot shots. They come in with a flatbed trailer and they go anywhere.
Just little private companies.
Yeah, individuals,
sole proprietors.
small movers, and we've used them a lot lately. That's the hard thing to do these days, and a lot of that kind of arose during COVID for us because people were wanting stuff, and we needed to figure out.
And we're traveling to get it.
Yeah, and it's hard to move stuff, especially if they're cross country or something. So
Shipping is expensive. I mean, even now at my shop, I ship stuff every now and again, and got some direct lines to like Ward Trucking and some others, but still, it's
but
expensive.
Diesel's $5 a gallon.
Sure is.
And you're getting 5 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, in a big truck like that.
If you're lucky.
And they need them packed full too.
That's why I was looking at our fuel consumption, and when you start doing that calculation, it didn't matter if I was going uphill, downhill in a hurricane, 5 miles to the gallon.
Really?
That's all we could get, 5 miles.
In the show hauler.
Anything.
Yeah.
You put a trailer behind a truck, 5 miles to the
So
gallon.
that was the flat rate calculation.
That's just
Yeah.
what it turned out to be. If you got any better, you were running with the wind.
You could almost take a gallon of gas and pour it out the window, traveling at 60 miles an hour, and it would empty about the same speed.
5 miles. Yeah. Maybe
not that fast,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's
lucky,
you could see it drain.
Yeah, luckily it got us to where we were going and got us home. That was one of my being a sailor. I always was very proud to have done the journey. From dock to dock. From home out, do the thing, come back, home dock.
Well, that's a victory.
It is a victory, and it's an accomplishment, and we did it without a whole lot of injuries, and obviously there were some,
Incidents.
yeah,
But,
pissed off people, but
I wrote down. I thought that, and speaking of incidents, I thought this was the trip where I was driving the Isuzu box truck, and I got sideswiped on the highway in that D.C., Maryland, Delaware area.
that was.
But then I looked at my pictures in my server, and that was actually in 2015.
That was Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were coming.
So that's coming up.
yeah. We got. Yeah, that was knocked the door windows out on the passenger side, didn't it?
Yeah,
on the
weird.
highway.
Those Isuzu FTRs, the whole door is made of glass almost, so
Right.
it shattered the whole door. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I remember it was a cold drive home.
Yeah, we
with no
taped it up, and
window.
it was flopping and flapping. And
So loud. I had to put my headphones in and blare music just not to hear the the plastic.
but we made it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. We got home. And again, it's always good to to finish because we actually did this work. This was a real business, and it's not like okay, that's done. We can throw the stuff in the trash or leave it on site, and we did our thing. No, we had a real business and still do to sell salvage, get salvage, and sell salvage. It's easy to get. It's hard to sell.
Right.
It's always been that way.
You got to sit on it.
Yeah, I mean, and stuff. There's pieces we have that that we've had for 16 years, maybe a little more. The church windows that Jacob and you were on. You were very young. There's a picture of us all sitting on the altar where I'm black. But we have stuff for a long time, and hopefully it's hanging typically because if it was on the floor, it'd probably been screwed up many times and then ended up in the trash.
Protect us from ourselves.
Yeah, so when it's hanging,
ceiling.
Unless there's something breaks, the cable breaks, it's going to stay there. And we still have one of those big pieces. But
it's impressive.
Yeah, most
a big ass window.
And then when people come in and say, "Oh,
we talked about it last week."
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I said, "Yeah, it's a shame we still have it."
yeah. If you see stuff in the shop that you saw on the show, that means we've been unsuccessful to sell it.
It's not that we didn't want to sell it; it just hasn't sold, or maybe it wasn't a good idea. It was just, hey, we're pulling this build out of our ass. So but some of those make the funniest builds.
Well, and you gotta
remember this was entertainment for you guys. So
there's an interesting point about that, like the build. There were some times where we were just scrambling, just throwing stuff. You'd walk around
with Clark McCarthy Miller.
Day of filming and go, well, what do we want to build? We have this thing. What if we did that? Truly, almost like improv.
Yeah,
like fabrication improv.
I think I'd do well on one of those competitions, those build competitions.
Yeah.
The makers.
Do you remember a show called Junkyard Wars?
Oh yeah,
I was obsessed.
Yeah,
and that's like my dream. Activity.
No, it was cool.
Junkyard full of mechanical stuff, and you're like, we got to build a trebuchet.
I think it was done in England.
The original, all of it was. But I ended up a few years ago. I ended up finding a download for all those episodes, but it was the UK version, and the reason I know that is because the version we saw, I don't know if they filmed it twice that day or whatever, but they had American hosts.
Oh, really?
And it was called Junkyard Wars. And in England, it had British hosts, and they called it something else.
Yeah.
Scrap Heap Challenge or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to do something.
If you haven't seen that show, go. I mean, the only way you can watch it now is like downloading it illegally, but who cares?
Yeah.
It's like 20 years old. Go find it. It's so cool.
Yeah, everybody's been paid. You know, there's no more rights to those shows like that. But
well, Walker and I, for our YouTube channel, want to do. I have that written up there, the Welding Olympic Games. It's just one idea like that, where we have a few people, a few contestants, and you have a few challenges to do, right? Like quickest weld, nicest weld, most challenging weld.
Oh,
just one idea like that. But we should film, maybe even at Black Dog, like a quick little build challenge.
We did that a couple times. One being, again, this is more seasons, probably season 10 or 9. We did a couple where
we'd split up.
Like you and Ted and Robert would build something, and then Grayson and I would build something. Of course, Grayson and I kicked ass.
Sure.
Yeah, because it was me.
You're the Mac Daddy, man. You're it.
That's my grave marker.
I'm gonna agree with you here because I've given you all kinds of crap over the years that wasn't deserved. So it all had to start from somewhere.
It did.
I'm sitting next to Genesis here.
The owner, the whatever.
Paterfamilias.
Paterfamilias. Yeah. Thank you, Bill Hayes. Yeah. All right, buddy.
I think we've done it.
We have. Yeah, we got 53 minutes, so we're
on it.
Right on. I didn't think we'd get that much time.
I know it hit 40, and I'm like, what else are we going to talk about?
Yeah, that's
Here
it.
we are.
Well, remember to find us on YouTube. It's Black Dog Salvage on YouTube.
Yep.
And,
please subscribe. It means a lot. It's free. It's just a little red button and one click away, but it means a lot to the algorithm and the internet overlords.
That's the overlords. Yeah, they're brutal.
They are. They're critical, and if they know you like us, then they'll like us.
Or just pretend to like us. Okay, that's all we really want in life. It's we're easily watched. We did I do cameos, the Cameo app, and Tay and I did one the other day. It was.
Did you get a response from?
I haven't, but a lady that watched us, she has a fighting cancer and also has a traumatic brain injury. And because our show was so easy to watch, it brought her joy and was something she could concentrate on without a whole lot of pain, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we bring to it is take 2 aspirin, 3 Salvage Dog episodes, and it'll cure what ails you.
Or at least help.
Try it.
9 out of 10 doctors recommend it. That 10th one doesn't.
Yeah. He works for the government.
Yeah, big pharma.
But thank you, everybody, for everything. Thanks for the comments. Tad and I will stay at this as long as we can. We're down to almost season 1's almost done. It took us a solid year to get season 1 done. And typically we did them in 6 months after we really got going, 1 season. So we got that going for us.
Well, at this rate, we're doing an episode a week, and 13 is a season.
Yeah, it'll be 2025 before we
3
finish.
or 4 a year. Yeah, so stick with us.
Yeah,
it's a fun ride.
Hope to be around.
Go buy Black Dog merch. That's one way you can support. Go buy a hat. Go buy a T-shirt.
We're online, guys.
BlackDogSalvage.com.
Come see us, Roanoke, Virginia.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, rate, subscribe, comment. Tell us you loved it. Tell us you hate it. Either way, you're helping.
Just tell us something.
Tell us anything.
It doesn't matter. We love you guys.
Buy Black Dog Salvage furniture paint.
Oh, yeah.
They're about to listen to an ad because they roll at the end of these episodes. But
awesome.
Go buy that.
Buy the paint. Paint something. Mix it up.
Paint your brass off.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Y'all take care.
See you next week.
All right.
I want to play that fart again.
I think you have a program, man.
Yeah, I need to isolate. I'm going to write that in my notes. Isolate the fart.
Yeah. I just thought it was something squeaking. I didn't realize it was coming out of my
No,
ass.
it's a full two-parter.
Yeah, I have to check my underwear after that one.
Goodbye.
See ya.